Hey guys, so if you've been recently thinking about pivoting into a job, you've been laid off, you don't know what to do for a job, etc. Um, and everybody's worried about AI. AI is also creating careers and jobs, and it could be time for, I'm going to run through this quickly, so because this is an opportunity for people, okay? This is an example of, and this, I'll put a link to this video by this doctor, Obi Ogbanofi, uh, who is one of the leaders, I think, in AI governance. But she talks about specifically, I'll put a link to this. California just passed a law called the SB53, which basically it's the first law in the US specifically relating to AI safety. Um, okay, now why do I say you can pivot into this job? Well, because this job, AI governance, basically, and safety, is more or less brand new. I mean, this is the first law regarding, and this is like, as you'll see, you know, major safety issues like, crime, but also um, to do with more serious, um, like these, it identifies four serious categories. Uh, One is, mass harm, okay, which is equal to the death of 50 or more people, causing the death of 50 or more people, or $1 billion of damages from a single incident. Okay, guys. Secondly, what this law does is to do with what they call CBRN weapons, which is chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear. AI assists in the creation, if the AI assists in the creation or release of weapons of mass destruction. Okay. Thirdly, the category, serious category, but it's all to do with AI governance mainly, guys. And this is a brand new subject, and this is why I say, you know, if you're looking for a job, if you're already in GRC, but I think you could do, this is a new career, so it's, if you're interested in this, and it's, I would say it's huge potential for making big money too. Okay. Okay. So thirdly, autonomous crime. So this is what this SB53, the California government has just made this law to do with AI and safety. Okay. Okay. So the fourth category that it deals with is loss of control, meaning where AI systems that evade control of their own developers or users. Now this lady Obi goes in, gives one example. Apparently, I think it was oh, what was it? OpenAI, but don't quote me on that. No, no, sorry. Anthropic, where Anthropic tried to, on its own accord, go around. It sort of threatened the user, or something like that. But don't quote me on that. But just go and watch this. Um, Now, obviously, another category is autonomous crime, AI systems that commit cyber attacks. Okay, no human in the loop. Okay, regarding that. So there's four main categories that it deals with this new law, and who does it apply to? Who does this new law apply to? Now, apparently, something like 30, there's 50 top AI companies in America, and 38 of them are in California. I think that's what she said, guys. But who does this new law mainly apply to? It applies to what they call, the biggest AI players, and what they call dealing with frontier models. The leaders dealing with the AI new frontier. They're in the forefront of all the AI huge companies like, you know, OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, DeepMind. Okay, so companies like that. Now, so yeah, who does it apply to? So the biggest companies. Now, the frontier models, such as OpenAI, etc. Uh, and they base it on. So, what is a frontier model? Frontier model is an AI model trained using more than what they call 6 to the power of 26. 6 to the power of 26 flops, what they call, acronym FLOP, which is for floating point operations. So basically, huge models, basically. Um, so let's look at the definition of this frontier developer. Companies that train or initiate the training of a frontier model. Like I said, big companies, large frontier developers. Frontier developer is someone that, like I was saying, with uh, excuse me. Oh, sorry about that. Just had to sneeze. So a frontier developer is a company that is, has a uh, annual revenue of 500 million, half a billion or more. Okay. Now, what are the core requirements of this CB53? Now, when I say SB53, created by California government, uh, yeah, um, but basically, you can see that, or this is specifically to do with California, you can say that this is coming to the world, basically, laws like this. And that's why, you want to get in now. If you're thinking about getting into, if you like, or if slightly interested, or you just think you're interested in getting into, you know, starting a career with AI or pivoting into AI and or GRC. Okay, now's the time. So what are the core requirements of this? In this SB53, some of the core requirements are that they publish annual governance frameworks. So that's to do with, how they develop and identify, assess, mitigate catastrophic risk, etc. Um, Someone has to audit everything to do with transparency reports, publish transparency reports before deploying AI in the world, which, is a pretty obvious thing to do. Now, excuse me. So all developers, what they can do and what they can't do, basically, is for critical safety. They have to do obviously critical safety incident reporting. Now they have to, as far as this critical incident safety reporting, one thing they have to do is report a critical issue within 24 hours, and I think, any other issue within 48 hours, but don't quote me on that. So that issue I was talking about, where the Anthropic, threatened one of its users, or one of its developers, they would have had to report that within 24 hours. It's something like that. Now, there's also within this SB53 is what's called uh, uh, whistleblower protection. So obviously, within a company, if anybody in the company sees something that the company is, they think is unethical or um, criminal or whatever, there's protection for person working in that company if they see anything, mischievous. um, so there's protection, so they can't get fired from their job, etc. Now, what I would say to that is that's easier said than done. It's good to have that in there. There's protection, yes, but what I've found from this is that this is all good, and it's better than having no. These are awesome. These are great, but also I think you need to have independent. This is so huge, especially this SB53 where they're talking about weapons of mass destruction and or deaths, causes deaths of 50 or more. I think what you're going to need is an independent authority. Now, you'll see within this video that she also talks about a government committee that will sort of oversee this and make sure they're doing everything correct. But I would say that issues like this, what I would say to do is a good idea to do is have at least one independent authority, and definitely not in California. Okay, I would even think about uh, AI having, I don't know, 5 or 6 AI governance nodes, AI governance nodes throughout the world that all check up on this type of stuff. You can't just bring out a law in California and then hopefully all goes well there, because the issue is who's watching the watchers type thing. So this is so huge. I would say my idea would be to have what I call AI governance nodes, specialists, SEMs that know the subject, are independent of everything such as politics, etc., and placed in different countries, and each node combines or has a caucus of, say, whatever, 5 to 12 people, and they're all their job is to check up on when laws like this come out, and periodically audit them, etc. I think there has to be some independent. Now, they might say, well, that's getting into privacy, and I think such big issues you have to do something like that. That's what I think anyway. But anyway, uh, now what happens if you don't comply with this SB53? Now here's another issue I have, because the penalties are up to $1 million per issue, or per breaking of this law. Now here's another issue I have with this, is that $1 million to these companies is like the price of a cup of tea to me. Is it's $1 million. I think that needs to be bumped up more. Even have a gradient, so depending what the issue is, there should be some sort of a gradient up to $1 billion, whatever, $10 billion. Okay. Yeah, so it says they can call the Department of Technology in California to, that's their like overseer. But like I said, I think it needs to be way more independent uh, overseers, basically. So, what are some of the careers that can evolve from this? But not only this, we're really talking about worldwide, because this is just first law in USA. So we're talking about worldwide. So some of the careers can be incident response specialists, okay, an AI risk manager, an AI governance specialist, AI ethics officer, AI safety officers, AI policy analyst, guys, okay. Now, what are some of the skills you're going to need? You're going to need technical, um, technical skills. You have to know how these AI works and keep up with what's going on. You have to know about LLMs, for instance. Now, also imperative that you know about the AI frameworks such as the NIST AI risk framework, and also the ISO IEC 42001. Okay, so you have to know those, read those, study the actual law. Also know about ethics, obviously governance and compliance. So, but the two main ones are NIST AI risk management and ISO slash IEC 42001. Now this lady, she puts all the, if we can have a look, she puts all the relevant material down here so you can see what you learn, the resources. So she puts a link to all those. Okay, guys. So I'll also put those below my video. Another thing she says to do is to follow those big companies like Anthropic, OpenAI, and DeepMind. Okay, and read Anthropic's responsible. Because all these companies have put out like their policies, their risk policies, if you want to call it that, to do with AI. So read Anthropic's responsible scaling policy, read OpenAI's preparedness framework, read Google's DeepMind frontier safety framework, and build credibility, okay, and practice your skills. So another thing she says to do, a good idea, is to network. Obviously join AI governance safety groups. Now I agree with what she says here, and this is what this video is about, guys. And she mentions this at the end like a summary, really. She says it's not about AI governance. It's not at the moment. It's more about, of course, it is about AI governance, but it's more about are there going to be enough people trained in AI governance and do this sort of have these skills? So here is your chance, guys. Okay. I would say, like I say, if you're thinking about pivoting, if haven't got a job at the moment, and you know and you're doing not much, you do some of this and get into it, because if you get familiar with the frameworks, the AI risk frameworks, etc., and get familiar with the top companies, etc., and laws such as this, and and keep up with it. There are not many people, you're first at the table type thing. um so there it is, guys. Like I say, I'll put all the links below, but yeah, now's the chance. 2026 too, brand new year. Start off with AI governance. Okay, now the good thing too with the AI governance is you can wonder, if you get into AI governance and you start off and you learn about it all, then you realize that, oh, this is not really my thing. I would definitely say that once you know about AI governance, you could then pivot into cybersecurity or whatever, guys. Okay. Now, if you already know about cybersecurity and stuff like that, man, and you top up your learning by this, you can pivot If you're into cybersecurity, you can pivot into this. If you say for instance, cybersecurity is not for you, you can pivot into AI governance. But this is brand new. This is brand new, guys, and this is not won't be the only thing that's brand new with AI coming out, guys. So keep an eye on AI. This is one reason why to keep it, to keep an eye on AI. Because there's job opportunities there popping up. Instead of, you get laid off your work because of AI, well, turn the whole thing around and get trained in AI, guys. Okay? Cheers. Let me know how you get on. Put comments in the, and below, and let me know if you're going to get into something like this. I'm sort of into it. I'm already, I've been learning, and I'm not young. I've been learning cybersecurity, and AI is just part of everything now. Um, Now, what I also say too is that the lower levels of cybersecurity, for instance, have been taken over from AI, guys. So AI is taking over everything. So so learn about AI and then take over AI. But anyway, there you go. That should do it for today. I'll put all the links in the below, and let me know how you get on.